Hi, Callie. Hi, Karen. Taylor. How you guys doing? Definitely running slow this morning. My little buddy here, he just loves to wake us up every half an hour at nighttime these days. So he's lucky, he's cute. That's Frank. That's why I'm exhausted. Hi, Jen. All right, guys. So mobility is our little treat at the end of the week. It's going to give us a little bit of active recovery and really kind of set us up for an awesome week ahead. So a lot of people get mobility and flexibility mixed up. Flexibility is just the muscles being able to move beyond what's kind of normal-ish. But mobility is actually the joints' ability to move within their normal range of motion. And a lot of us are missing out on that just because we don't move through that normal range of motion very often, especially if you guys have sedentary jobs or you're sitting a lot. Muscles get really tight and then they restrict the joint from moving. So not only do we want mobility for joint health, if the joint is constantly being tugged on because of tight muscles, then that causes wear and tear and degradation over time. But it also prevents us from getting through a full range of motion with a bunch of our movements. And if a muscle can't work through its full range of motion, we miss out on a lot of good development and power and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good for an investment in your workouts and kind of long-term prevention of joint issues. So we're gonna do, I've got 10 of kind of my favorite things here. This shouldn't take too long, guys. I think 20 minutes or so. And we're just gonna go nice and slow and just move through some things that I find really help me and help my clients. So the first thing we're gonna do is just pop down onto your backs and we're gonna start with some deep breathing. I'm gonna tell you guys about how to breathe here because it's also gonna play into some of your workouts down the road. So all I need you guys to do is lay down. You guys can have your feet flat on the ground or you can extend your legs, whatever's most comfortable for you. And then we're gonna belly breath. So this is like for women, this is usually really challenging because we're so conditioned to sucking this area in and not letting it hang out, but you guys need to do the opposite. So really think of just creating like a Santa belly. So you're gonna try to expand through here, and then as you exhale, try to let your stomach hit the floor. So really deep breaths. Try to think about expanding downwards, breathing down and into the bottom of the belly, and then slowly exhaling to get your stomach to touch the floor. All right, we're gonna do a couple of these, so really nice deep breaths. Try to get the breath in the belly and not in the chest. This is really challenging, not just like mentally to kind of rewire that, but a lot of us are so tight that it's actually hard physically to get the breath down. So a couple more of these. We're just taking the body down into that state where it's going to cooperate with us a little bit more as we go through some of this stuff today. Okay, we'll get 2 more, guys. And last one. Okay, we're gonna go into our first exercise. I'm just gonna check the comments really quick. Can you guys tell me if you can see my whole body from where I am laying? Because I won't be able to read your comments once I'm actually down there. Was the vantage point good where I was? Just a quick thumbs up is great from anybody. Okay, I'm just gonna assume it's good. So we're going. So the first thing you're gonna do is called sunrise arms. So you're gonna have a lay down. Your bottom arm is in front of you. you're gonna take your top leg, bring it into a kneel, and press your knee to the ground. You're gonna take your bottom arm or hand and anchor that knee. So this is really important. We're trying to mobilize your thoracic spine, so right around where your bra strap is. If this knee is not kind of anchored, then we start to rotate through your lumbar spine, and that isn't what we're after, and it can also be a little bit hard on the spine there. So this is important for safety and also for effectiveness. So you're gonna lay down, you're gonna take your arm, your top arm here, and it's called sunrise arms because we're making the biggest sunrise ever. So I'm just gonna move this way so you guys can see. You're gonna follow your fingertips all the way behind you. I'm running out of space here. Follow your fingertips all the way behind. Bring it back to where your bum is, and then all the way back up and over. So the entire time you wanna try and keep that knee and your fingertips on the ground. You're gonna follow that top hand with your eyes and back over. So most of us, myself included, are really tight in through here. So if you can't keep your fingertips and your knee on the ground entirely the whole time, that's all right, guys. You will get there. You'll also notice with a lot of these, your body starts to cooperate a little more with every pass. Okay, so we're gonna get a couple more here. Take that deep breath in on the way over, and then start to exhale as that arm comes back up in front of you. And last one on the side. Really open up. Bring it back over. All right, same thing, just gonna scooch sides. So I don't have my leg extended here just because of my room, but that's fine as long as that top knee is anchored on the ground. So lay down, big sunrise arms, follow those fingertips with your gaze. And if you're anything like me, you are gonna have one side that is way tighter and more restricted than the other. It's okay. Like, we all have some kind of imbalances. We've been talking about those a lot this week. We all have strength and mobility imbalances, but it's our job to be aware of them, because when we know our bodies really well, we can work on them, and we can also keep ourselves really safe. So I want you to start thinking about what side feels easier, like you have more range, not as tight, and what side is just not cooperating as much throughout all of these things that we do today. Okay, and then once you identify that, like you can use today as your trial round, once you identify your areas that need more love, whenever we go through stuff, you can start either a couple seconds early, or you can do a few more reps at the end on that side so that we start to catch up. All right, guys, we're gonna get one more. So this is one that I give my clients at the beginning of every workout at the garage. Like, it actually lives on our giant whiteboard in the garage because it's so effective. All right, next, we are doing a child's pose to an up dog. So you're gonna start back in a child's pose. Your forehead's on the ground. You can wiggle around in here. I actually really encourage you guys to do that right now because we're not super warm, and this is just so good for getting in through all of those joint capsules. Okay, so child's pose, and then you're gonna round up through your upper back. So everything we avoid doing when we're working out, now we're gonna do the opposite here. And then come down into an up dog. And you can look up to the sky, really try to press those hips to the ground. And you guys, if you're watching closely, you can see that I'm wiggling around in through here too. I'm really trying to get the front of my hips to the ground and elongate my neck. Okay, and then you're gonna push back and around again. Back into child's pose. Wiggle through here. So same thing, guys. When I put my right arm down, I feel that in through my right back much more apparently than I do when I do it through my left. It's just tighter over there. So you guys, this is kind of like your little detective work to figure out where your body needs more love. Okay, and round it. Up dog, give it a little wiggle. We're gonna start to speed things up just a little bit. Come back. Get the chest to the ground. Try and open up through those hips a little bit and round. Back to up dog. And this one feels pretty awesome and through the hips around it. And we're gonna get one more after this. So round to that back again, into up dog, look up to the sky. Really try to keep those hips down to the ground. Last one, back into that child's pose. Give it a good round. And up dog. All right, nice job, guys. Okay, moving on. We've got kneeling thread the needles. So that thoracic spine where your bra strap is, that area, that gets so jammed up. So we've got a bunch of rotation stuff in there to try to help with that. So you're gonna come down to your knees. Try to stack your knees directly beneath your hip bones and your wrists directly beneath your shoulders, just like we do in a push-up or a plank. And then you're gonna take one arm or one hand behind your head, and you're going to use your elbow to guide you open. You can use that bottom arm to try to push you open a little bit more too, and then come back down into center. So most of this should be feeling right around your bra strap. If you start to feel tightness in through your neck, then release that arm back into position where you don't feel that anymore. But having it on your head is really going to force that rotation into the spot that we want. And it's okay if you don't feel like you're getting a ton of movement here. You will the more that you do this, and like I was saying, this is a really jammed up spot for a lot of us. Okay, we're gonna get 3 more on this side. Nice and slow. Picture a pivot point right where your bra strap would be. If you're Karen, you're not wearing one today probably, which I fully support. Let's get 2 more. The perks of being at home. And last one. Nice. All right, same thing guys, other side. So stack hips and knees and wrists and shoulders. Get your hands behind your head and come down. So this side for me, I've been in 3 car accidents, and this side has a whole bunch of issues. So I get very little movement over here. So that's another thing that you guys can think about. If you guys have had MVAs, I know a lot of my clients have had that stuff too. These rotation exercises are going to be a godsend for you. Still trying to keep track and get some inventory on your own mobility issues, guys. So wherever those imbalances are, start to make note so you can give those a little extra love. Good. So I am heavily relying on my left arm to give me an extra boost of rotation here. Okay, we're gonna get 1 more on the side. And up. Really wiggle through there. All right, nice job. Next one. So this one is one of my favorites for hips. They are always gonna be fun for most of us. If you're sitting, your hips get really, really tight, and we're sitting more often than we're standing or moving through full range of motion. So doing this even like a couple times a day, if you get up from your desk and just have a seat on the floor, is gonna help. So we did this, I think we did this as part of our cool down for one of our workouts the other day. So you're gonna find a 90-90 position from the floor. So with that, you want your front knee to come directly out of your hip, so it's in line with that hip bone. And then you're gonna take this foot and make sure that you're creating a 90-degree angle there. And then your back leg, you're gonna push it back so that it comes straight out from that hip. And then this leg, you wanna push out so you also have a 90-degree angle here. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this way so you guys can see. And then what we're gonna do, where you wanna get to with this one is not using any hands, but if you need your hands to stabilize you right now, then that's fine too. So you're going to come up, try to keep your feet planted on the ground, and then back into that 90-90 position. Hold it for a sec, wiggle around in there, and then switch. So these ones are 90-90 windshield wipers or rockovers. Okay, and then switch. And I tend to migrate when I do these, so I'm probably gonna get closer and closer and closer to my phone, but I'll back it up if I start to come out of the picture. So again, start to think about where you feel the tightness. Is it through that front hip? Is it through the back one? Is it on the sides of the hips or underneath? Your hip bones are ball and socket joints, so they move like that. So there's a lot of potential to kind of mobilize in through there. A couple more here. And we're gonna switch over to this side. And then I'm gonna add something in here. So when you roll or when you wipe over, take your arms and give yourself a good sweep over to that front knee so that you feel that nice glute stretch. And then you're gonna wipe over and sweep it and back over. Okay, you guys do not have to stay in time with me. I mean, I wouldn't go any faster than what I'm moving at right now. But if you've hit something really awesome and you want to chill there for an extra second, then go for it. Really try to twist through. All that rotation work is coming back in right now. And last one here. Okay, cool. Next one. Down dog to modified pigeon. So for most people, I don't actually like prescribing a full pigeon because we're lacking the mobility and it ends up tugging on the knee joint quite a bit. So your modified pigeon is gonna look kind of like what you just did, where that front knee is bent at 90. You can bring your heel in a little bit, as long as you don't feel any pressure on your knee and you feel lots of stuff in the glute, then I'm okay with it. So you're gonna come into your down dog position, okay? And then you're gonna come through into your half pigeon or your modified pigeon, kind of wiggle around through there, push back up, and back down, same side. Okay, so really try to get your glutes on the ground at some point in that pigeon. You can wiggle around through it and come off if you need to, but we're aiming to open that hip up in the glute. When you come back into your down dog, try to get your heels to touch the ground and ribs towards your thighs. And back down. Can you guys still see me okay? Looks like it from my vantage point. Okay, and we're gonna get 2 more on this side. Already start to feel my hamstrings starting to cooperate with me a little bit more. Those guys are usually pretty tight, especially first thing in the morning. My body is not ready for much. Okay, this is our last one on this side. And switch. Oh, come down, sorry. Brain's not ready for much either, apparently. Okay, same thing, other side. So come back into your down dog. Now that other foot's gonna come forward into that modified pigeon. Really feel where you need to move around. So use, just like we do in the workouts, use the good side, quote unquote, as kind of your template for how to feel it effectively on the other side. Keep things moving. Good. So start taking note on this side, what feels tighter. Or is this side your preferred side? Usually, unless someone says, start on this side or that side, usually most people are gonna end up choosing the side that they're either stronger or more mobile on. So that's usually a pretty good indication. Your second side's probably gonna be the one that needs a little bit more attention. And last one, give it a good seat in through here. Okay, 90-90 butt tucks. So we've been doing these tons this week. They are one of my go-tos for sure. We're just gonna add in a couple different things here. So on your knees, you're gonna pop one foot up, find that 90 degree here and that 90 degrees there. And then whatever butt cheek is behind you on the kneeling leg, you're gonna tuck that under and anchor it, okay? So super important this entire time, that butt cheek does not get to relax, you will feel a huge difference. Even if you just let go of that, you'll lose any kind of stretching through here. So it's going to intensify the stretch, but it's also going to keep our hip sockets safe. So double whammy. Okay, so you're going to keep that there, and then you're going to just reach up and follow your arms back down. So you'll notice at the top, when that butt cheek is clenched, it's really challenging to get through the rest of that motion, but that's on purpose. So don't let go of that. Okay. Keep that guy clenched the whole time. Try to drive that hip forward. Good. We'll get a couple more on the side, guys. Arms come all the way down and all the way back up. All right, switch legs. Same thing, other side. So make sure butt cheek is clenched. You've got 90 degrees on each side. And then you're gonna come up and back down. Really make sure that that back glute is turned on. Good. Same thing, start to take your own inventory on what you're feeling. Okay, one more here. Okay, we're gonna switch back to the other side. Same setup, so 90-90, and back butt is clenched. And now we're gonna twist from side to side here. So what I want you guys to imagine is that you are in a very narrow hallway, like the walls would be here, and you wanna actually try to get the sides of your hips to touch each wall of the hallway every time you're twisting. So we're just opening up that hip capsule really nicely through here. But don't forget to keep that back butt cheek clenched. So each one of these variations that we do through here, you're gonna feel it a little bit differently through the hips. Pay attention to the one that feels the most intense to you, because that's gonna give you some really good information about your body. Okay, and we'll get one more on each side here. Awesome. Same thing, other side, so switch knees. Clenched back bum. And here we go. So for me, like, this is pretty uncomfortable right now, but not painful. I don't want you guys to experience any pain, but uncomfortable is okay. As you get going, notice how much your body starts to cooperate with you. Every single rep, things should start to move a little bit better. Getting those hips to either wall on the hallway. Good. And last one on each side. All right, back to first side. This is the last one in our 90-90 series. So same setup, clench up back bum, 90-90. And now we're gonna reach up and over. Nice and slow. Really imagine moving in through here. Keeping your back glute tucked under hard. Good. So I want you guys to think, I'm gonna ask you guys at the end, especially about this one, I'm curious, out of the 3 versions that we've done of this half kneeling 90-90 one, which one had the most feels? All right, we'll get one more on each side here. And switch legs. Tuck that back cheek. And reaching up. Good. Really take your time to stretch through that entire range of motion. Do your best to keep that back butt cheek tucked under as you shoot your hips out from side to side. Really imagine kind of a lateral movement. Good. Couple more here, guys. And last one. All right, nicely done. If you have water and you want to grab a quick sip, go ahead. Morning is extremely important time to hydrate. We lose a lot of water overnight, lots of different cellular processes going on, and so one of the first things you should do in the morning is get some really high quality mineralized water in you. So I naturally stayed in bed until the last minute before this, so I am just trying to catch up on some hydration right now. So if you guys did the same thing, go ahead and grab your water. Okay, moving on. We've got deep squat into your hamstring stretch. So we've been doing this a little bit in our cool downs as well. So you're gonna come down into that nice deep squat, try to get your bum below your knees and use your elbows to push those guys back. And we're just gonna rock through here a little bit. So there's a bunch of stuff at play that can make this challenging. Mostly it's the hips. You guys might also experience some ankle issues. A lot of people have tight ankles that doesn't make getting your whole foot flat on the ground really easy. So if you feel like you're having a hard time keeping your heels down, try widening your base. And if that still doesn't work, you don't need to come down quite as far. But I encourage you to go from side to side and just kind of feel where the hang-ups are. So for example, on this side, my ankle is super tight. I broke it many years ago. And so now it really limits some of my movement through there. So I have to be pretty adamant about giving it a little bit of extra love. And I just do that by pushing into the ball of my foot a little bit more. You guys will feel it once you get the spot. And then on this side, my internal hip rotators are tighter. So I have to make sure that I'm really trying to open the knee a little bit more. Okay, so from here, once you guys have had a chance to wiggle it out a little bit, you're gonna put your hands on the ground, straighten your legs for hamstring stretch, and again, just kind of wiggle, move around in there a little bit from side to side. And then we're gonna come back down into that deep squat. Same thing, a little bit of back and forth. Nice, okay, hands on the ground. A little bit of a wiggle. Everything feels pretty tight on me right now. Normally I have a lot more range in my right side than I do on my left, but right now they're both feeling pretty equal. And that's something that I think is really worth noting too, because you guys will notice, depending on how you're put together and how your day is, sometimes your body is just more prepared for movement first thing in the morning. Some people it's later on in the evening or in the afternoon. I am not a morning person, so my body moves best and my brain is most prepared for movement late afternoon. But if you're a morning person, this might just be feeling amazing for you right now. Okay, we're gonna get one more. It's another great way to optimize your workouts too, guys. If you can identify when you have the best output, when you feel the best, and if there's any way to make that coincide with your real life schedule, you will get way better workouts, obviously, decrease your chance of injury, all that kind of stuff. So that's another thing to kind of just keep in mind as you're going through. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of shoulder mobility and then we're done. So with the top part of your body, you're going to come into a Superman position where you're just gently lifting your chest off of the ground. We're not doing a full Superman where your legs are coming up too, it's just your chest. You're gonna reach forward, pull your arms back into a W position, and then come all the way forward again. And then you're going to do like a big scoop of water or a swim. Pull them around and place your palms on the top part of your bum. Get a nice stretch in through the fronts here. And then back up and into W. Okay, so that Superman shouldn't feel like a ton of work. You don't have to be way up here. It can be just a tiny little lift. Always wiggle around in there a little bit if that feels good. Back up into your W. Back up, swim, hands on butt. Open up through the chest and the shoulders. Big circles. As you pull back, try to really elongate that neck. Swim it. Open those shoulders up. Wiggle around in there. Back up. Elongate that neck. And last one, guys. Bring your hands all the way down. Really try to open those suckers up. Try to get your shoulders down to the ground. All right. Short and sweet today. So those are your exercises. We're going to finish off with a few more of those deep belly breaths. So go ahead and lay down. You can have your full foot on the ground, or you can extend your legs. If you feel any kind of stress or tension in through your lower back, if your legs are extended, then definitely keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor. And we're just gonna do a bunch of those belly breaths to end this. So remember, like, let it all out. I can't see you guys, not that it would matter, but nobody's watching you, so just let your stomachs out. Aim to breathe down into the stomach and expand the stomach and not the chest. As you exhale, really try to let your stomach drop down to the floor beneath you. And then fill it up like a balloon as you breathe in. Another really great cue that I find works well for people is to think about like a 360-degree expansion. So if you had like an inner tube around your torso, you're not just trying to expand it from your belly button, but from the sides of your ribs and your back as well, pushing out on all sides. All right, guys, we're gonna do 5 more. I'm gonna shut up so that you guys can enjoy this a little bit more. Take your time, really deep breaths, really nice and slow exhales. Here we go. All right, swivel your legs over, slowly roll up. Awesome job, you guys. Great way to start the day. Stay tuned. There's going to be a few schedule changes to the workouts. And if there's anything that you're noticing, either like in your kind of real life situation or when we're doing our workouts that's bugging you, like if you're having any knee pain or elbow pain or shoulder pain or anything like that, let me know. I'll post something too to remind you guys, but start thinking about that now. And then I can incorporate some more stuff that really targets where most of your issues are. So thanks again. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys for booty call tomorrow at 6:15. Bye.